The United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, is asking the U.S. federal courts for permission to explain behind closed doors why it is withholding some investigative records linked to President Bola Tinubu. The FBI says releasing the information could expose law enforcement techniques and potentially endanger the lives or physical safety of individuals. The records are being sought by Aaron Greenspan through Freedom of Information Act requests covering investigations from the early 1990s. The agency says it cannot publicly provide the full basis for some exemptions and wants to submit the explanation directly to the judge under seal. It plans to file the declaration before August 28th, if permitted. The case follows a 2025 ruling in which Judge Beryl Howell ordered the FBI and DEA to lift their refusal to confirm or deny whether Tinubu was the subject of a criminal investigation. Dr. Charles Oludare, Texas-based public affairs analyst, joins us live for this discussion. Dr. Charles, many thanks for joining us. I mean, we are back on this road. The campaigns have kicked off, and of course, these issues are going to resurface once again. Now, the first question would be, if the FBI is asking to explain its reasons for withholding records behind closed doors, are there specifically something that you think that they may be hiding?
Well, the FBI is a secret organization, and the FBI, I can tell you, does not give a hoot about the president of Nigeria. This is the same administration that, did the security enforcement against the president of Venezuela, assassinated the ruler of Iran. So the FBI is only trying to protect the process and its methods. Because when you think about it, even in that case, the man Bola Tinubu was not the subject of the investigation. There was an investigation into a white guy, Edward, and his associates, and it was in reviewing their financial records that they saw that Agbele had opened an account with Tinubu. So if they are going to release a file or files about President Tinubu, the FBI would have to be releasing their methods and materials, and they have ongoing investigations whereby they will have, agents currently deeply embedded in a lot of criminal organizations that by exposing these methods and materials might compromise the safety of those agents. And that is strictly what the FBI, is trying to protect. And it is standard practice for a very long time. They keep a lot of things under wraps for generations even. So I am not surprised that FBI is trying not to release this document. But the one thing that is surprising to me is the fact that the opposition is still pushing this Dodd case. The Yoruba people have something that but at least that is multiple different kind of conspiracies against one person. If you are bringing up the same conspiracy over and over again after it has been defeated, then that makes it and no longer because this is no longer a viable conspiracy. This is a matter that has been tried, tested, and found not to be effective. So I am surprised that they are still chasing these shadows, but I believe this is an advantage for Tinubu because, if your opponents are chasing shadows and distracting themselves and wasting their own times, what will you do? You will help them waste their time. It is like the famous Yoruba saying, right? If your enemies are wasting their time, you help them to waste their time and keep them in court.
Oludare, but don't you also think that it is about time for us to really put this to bed? Let them expose what the content is. Let everybody know what exactly this is about. Even as a Nigerian, wouldn't you also want to know what really happened in the 1990s? Put this to bed and let everybody continue their lives. Don't you think that is actually very important?
Well, the information that they have is different from the one that they are looking for. The one that they are looking for are the secret, all files on Tinubu, very generic, right? So that will include the materials and methods. But from the information publicly available, I can tell you my own inference that I have done. And I am not currently a supporter of president, and I have resigned my membership of APC. So I'm not saying this because I am a spokesperson for them. But here are the facts of the case. When they tell you that President Tinubu forfeited $420,000 in 1993, they don't tell you that the US government gave him back about $1.6 million. So I have never known in history a time where the federal government of the United States give part payments to criminals. There was a settlement whereby they had seized 2 million of his money and then they gave him back 1.6, and they said he has not paid taxes amongst other things, right? That is the first thing. The second thing that is just common sense based on my own inference is that, Charles, if Hush Puppy was your friend and you know he's a fraudster, and the FBI is calling you to ask, do you know Hush Puppy? Are you in business with him? I am pretty sure, based on your foreknowledge of his fraudulent activities, you are going to deny knowing him as much as you can, right? When they called this man, he said he knew these guys and that he was in business with them. It was not until a few months later that he called back and did what you would have expected it to do in the first place, which was deny the knowledge of those people that I don't know them or I am not in business with them. So if you look at the course, the process of this case, there is no there. If you look at even the history of Nigeria after Abacha took over, and if you look at it also, President Tinubu made that settlement about 3 weeks after, what's it called, Babangida, and not the June 12, 1993 election. I don't know if it is related. Look at it also from that same period, from the incidences in the 90s. President Tinubu escaped to, I believe, Republic or Togo, and then from there went to the UK, and then the United States allowed him to come into the United States without a passport. We have all seen what happened to the king of Ipetumodu, to one of the aides of governor of Ogun State. President